Steven Ruderman here with your Insomniac Lunatic Friends Giants pregame show. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and it makes it look like I'm just a fair weather fan who gave up on this team because of how bad the season's been. When that's not the case at all. Despite how bad this season has been for the Giants, now let's not kid ourselves. This season has been an unmitigated disaster. The Giants come into tonight's game at 50-71, and they're playing a Rockies team that is 48-73. Despite how bad the season's been, I still watch every game that I can. I still come to as many games as I can, and I still love being here. And it's actually something kind of cool about two teams facing off that are going nowhere this season, that have, that no one's going to talk about in regards to the 2026 season, unless, they both are historically bad, or maybe if they both lose 100 games and you have 200 lost teams in the same division. But I'm not going to completely. I doubt the Giants are going to lose 100 games, but I'm not going to completely rule it out. The Giants are 50-71, and just for the record, they are only 2 games ahead of where they were at this point in 2017 when they ultimately lost 98 games. I think this team's either going to lose 95 or 96. The good news is they can get some wins this weekend against the Rockies. They took 3 or 4 from the Rockies when they were in here a month ago to close out the first half. Hopefully the Giants can get at least 2 wins this weekend. The unfortunate thing is the Giants have not won 4 in a row all year, and they have not swept a 3-game series all year. If the Giants win their makeup game in Atlanta on the 31st of the month, perhaps you could count it as that. So, of course, a lot has changed in Mike Murphy's clubhouse since I've been last on the air. Tyler Mahle, Luis Arias, Robbie Ray. I'm forgetting the other one. Tyler Mahle, Luis Arias, Robbie Ray, Elliot Ramos, and tragically Eric Miller all gone. Prospects in their place. And look, Buster had a great draft. Jackson Flora, the number 4 overall pick, who had an incredible season at UC Santa Barbara. One of the best pitchers in the collegiate circuit over the last couple of years. Future looks bright. So as much of a disaster as this season has been, there are positives. And perhaps in the long run, it can be, I don't want to say a success, but not a complete failure, if we can put it at that. The comparison I would make to this season would be 2007. The difference is the Giants were further along in their rebuild in 2007 than they are this year. I think you're looking at 2029 for when this team will truly be ready to compete. But I think with the right moves, the Giants could, maybe if things go their way, compete next year. Next year is going to be the same as this year. They're going to go into it with the main priority being the rebuild. But they're still going to try and compete. I mean, I think there's a good chance this team could be mediocre again next year like they were the last 4 years. And someone will say, well, that's if we have baseball. Hey, I am not accepting a season of no baseball. America's been through a lot. 2 world wars, 2 plagues, and currently we are suffering under a soft-core but thankfully incompetent fascist dictatorship. Every single year since Abner and the boys, there has been baseball, and that better be the case for 2027. I've accepted that it likely will not be 162 games. The funny thing, if it is and the entire schedule is preserved, the Giants are opening the season at home for the 2nd year in a row. Can you believe that? Against these very Rockies on March 25th of next year, and that's a tactic. You would think the schedule would have started on April 1st next year instead of March 25th. I think that's a tactic to try and put pressure on the players. And look, the Dodgers have an unfair advantage, but that's capitalism. I may be a socialist, but until I get my way and we have public ownership of the teams and government control of the league, guess what? You're playing by the rules of capitalism. Now, I'm okay with the owners changing some things. And yes, the Dodgers have an unfair advantage. Congratulations, owners. Now you know how we little people feel. The Dodgers are able to have money and are able to spend that the other billionaires don't have. And a lot of these players are paid too much, but I don't support a salary cap. Why should the players have a cap on how much they make and not the owners? And if I'm the players, you know what I'm doing? This is a great PR move right here. I'm saying, okay, we will accept a salary cap. The owners offered a salary cap of like $270 million or something. We'll take a $270 million salary cap next year in exchange for a $270 million profits cap. Perhaps even more, or I'm sorry, perhaps even lower, I beg your pardon, for the owners. I say do that, and then the owners are like, no, not like that, not like that. Because that's a good PR move. That's a way to get the public on your side. I think that's a brilliant move by the players. I doubt they'll do it, but I think that'd be a great move. Now you have the Yankees having some private equity for investing in the team. And George was a tyrant, autocrat, but Hal Steinbrenner's not his old man. And now they're allowing a private equity firm. Yeah, owners, if you need a salary cap that bad, open the books. And the thing is that the reason the Dodgers have this advantage is because of the McCord debacle. People who have been around for a while, like I have, may remember when the Dodgers were having a lot of success in the late 2000s. And then when right as they were opening up the 2009 NLCS, which they would lose in 5 games to the Phillies, it was announced that Frank and Jamie McCord, who co-owned the Dodgers as a married couple, were getting divorced. And it became ugly, and the Dodgers themselves became a bargaining chip in the divorce. And it was a horrible, horrible set of circumstance for a very historic and proud franchise and the great game itself. Major League Baseball took over in 2011. The courts filed for bankruptcy, and as part of the bankruptcy deal in court, Dodgers didn't have to share a certain amount of revenue money with the rest of the league, and unfortunately that's gone all the way to today. So they were able to sign that mega TV deal in 2014 with Sportsnet LA, and that's why we're in the situation we're in today. So instead of locking the players out and robbing us of our baseball season, owners, take care of this in-house. It's as plain and simple as that. Take care of this in-house. So we want to reflect on some things. Tragedy struck about a week ago, last Friday. Michael Wagaman passed away. He was found in his home in Vallejo by his son, Mike Jr., or Michael Jr., and I got to meet Michael on Sunday. His dad was a character. His old man was a character. And the thing is with Mike is he was, with Wags, is he was eccentric. He was different. He was a character, something we greatly lack in our great game and in society. I didn't truly get to know him until this year. Sports Radio Service, the publication I write for, the publication which sponsors this show, we like to do podcasts at various restaurants. We're going to be doing one Monday at I forget what the sushi place is called in Sacramento. And we did one at a really good Chinese place in Napa, and Wags was there, and was talk about how great the food was. Like, you know what? I was going to do this. I was going to upload that clip of Wags because I wanted everyone to see the man that Wags was. But, Michael Wagaman was Michael Wagaman. He was not a phony. He was not a BSer. What you saw is what you got from Wags. He was someone who, despite his rough exterior, was a guy who was a good man filled with morals. In society, you have a lot of they preach being clean-cut and polite and having an indoor voice, but a lot of those people are completely amoral. And it's amazing how a lot of the loud, rambunctious, sometimes impolite, if you will, people are the people with the most morals. And that's Michael Wagaman. He was a safe place for me in what could be a pretty cruel business here in media. I was able to consider him a friend, and I will miss him very much. That came a day after my Krukow. announced his retirement. And that's devastating. Now, Krukow has, of course, the muscle problem. It's not fatal, thankfully, but it's taken a lot out of him. He's only been able to do home games since 2020, and unfortunately, he's going to be hanging him up at the end of this year. You know, some people have peaks and go downhill. Mike Krukow's been at a constant flat line at the top. That's how great he's always been. I will miss Kruk very much, and I can't blame him. He's just as good as he was when he started in 1990. But Mike Krukow has been a part of every summer since 2002. I started watching Giants baseball and baseball period in 2001, and I started noticing the announcers, Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow, in 2002. And for the last 24, 25 years, Mike Krukow has been a part of my summer through so many changes in my life, through good times and bad times. I've had so many friendships. I have had so many challenges in my life, various different schools, various different events, you name it. But the one consistent every summer has been the voices of Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow and John Miller, and since 2004, Dave Fleming. And that's a major shakeup to that. Thankfully, Kuip, who travels for some road games, will be sticking around. I'm hoping they pair him with Hunter Pence. But Mike Krukow, I want to tell a story about Kruk. So when I got my start in 2015 for Bay Sportsnet, I covered a 4-game series in Denver. And it was Friday, May 22nd. It was supposed to be a 3-game series, but they had a doubleheader on the 23rd because of a rainout on April 26th. And Mike Krukow and Kuip allowed me to sit at the table with them in the press dining room. And so Mike Krukow, I was in a conversation with Kruk and with Tracy Ringlesby, who's a Hall of Fame writer. And Mike Krukow looked, treated, and talked to me the same way he looked at, treated, and talked to a literal Hall of Fame writer in Tracy Ringlesby. I was just a scared 20, about to be 21-year-old kid, and he treated me the same way as he did a literal Hall of Famer. I will forever, always be grateful for that, and I want to talk to Kruk and personally thank him before the end of the season, and I will miss him very much. And, look, knowing Kruk, he might come back a handful of times a year to do some color, considering if they do hire Hunter Pence, he's got some media obligations. And I got to respond to a call. It's Lee. Lee's calling me. I got to record a pod with Lee in a little bit. Hold on. I'll be there in a few. I will miss him very much. So let's wrap it up. The Giants are getting the 2028 All-Star Game. That's pretty exciting. 2028 All-Star Game will be coming to Oracle Park. It was here in 2007. Barry Bonds' final year, his final All-Star Game. He had walked in with Willie Mays in center field. That was a really special moment. He was part of that cool cable car commercial that Fox used in the lead up to the All-Star Game. And Ichiro hit an inside the park home run. The home plate umpire in that game was the little fat man himself, the late great Bruce Fremming. A long time ago. And it's really exciting that it's going to come back here. I hope I can be here for it, and it's going to be really awesome when it comes here. So that'll do it. This has been your Insomniac Lunatic Fringe Giants pregame show. Landon Roop against Kyle Freeland, game 1 of a 3-game series. Giants and Rockies first pitch scheduled, because you never know if it's going to start on time or not, for an hour and 57 minutes from now. At an hour and 57 minutes from now at 7:15 p.m. For my boss, Lee Leonard, the views and language in this show do not reflect those of Sports Radio Service, its leader, my boss, Lee Leonard, or its sponsors. I'm Stephen Ruderman. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope the Giants could pull out at least a couple wins this week and enjoy the game. I'll talk to you soon.